You are hearing this in the morning, and that is not a coincidence. You are here because there's a part of you that wants to change, a part of you that is exhausted from waking up with heaviness in your chest, tired of repeating the same days, tired of habits that pull you down instead of lifting you up. Today, you did not click on a video. You walked into a ritual of mental reprogramming where you stand between two choices. Continue repeating the old version of yourself or rewrite the way you want to live. How long have you carried this feeling, waking up without truly waking, living as if you are surviving the day instead of living it, knowing you can be better, stronger, more disciplined, yet every day you are swept away by procrastination and the negative voice inside your head? This morning, you have a decision to make. Live by reaction or live by intention. Choose comfort or choose discipline. Wait for inspiration or generate your own momentum. Average people choose comfort. Warriors choose discipline. Average people are led by their minds. Warriors lead their minds. Where do you choose to stand? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Your mind will become what you repeatedly think." And the question is, what have you been repeating every morning? Doubt, fear, pressure, or strength? Nothing changes in your life until the language inside you changes. Your morning shapes your entire day because science shows that the first 10 minutes after you wake up are the moments when your brain is most sensitive to emotional programming. Whatever you feed it, you will follow. Negative energy makes your whole day heavy. Disciplined thinking makes your whole day move forward. Distraction pulls you off track. Focus brings you back to your path. So today, will your morning be programmed by default or by choice? These 60 minutes do not promise to heal you, but they will wake you up. They will pull you out of autopilot mode and place you into conscious leadership mode. You will hear affirmations, but more importantly, you will become them. Epictetus said, "You do not become what you hear, you become what you practice." And this morning, you will practice a stronger version of yourself. Before we go deeper, take one small action that is powerful enough to shift your state. Place your hand on your chest, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat that 3 times. Feel your body, feel your breath, feeling clarity returning. With one correct breath, you take back control. To anchor your intention, comment your first affirmation. Drop this: "I command my morning." In a few minutes, you will step into 10 Stoic truths crafted specifically for the morning. 10 perspectives powerful enough to erase old ways of thinking, 10 small actions that can change the trajectory of your entire day, 10 affirmations that help you see yourself through the eyes of a warrior. You're not here to listen for entertainment. You are here to apply, to step out of comfort, to regain the focus that life has taken from you. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And today, you will learn how to silence your mind and let your actions speak. You have let the old version of yourself hold you back for too long. How many times have you promised to change but lost the rhythm? How many mornings started with your phone, then anxiety, then procrastination, then self-blame, then a complete repeat of the day before? Today is the final page of that cycle, not through temporary motivation, but through mental reprogramming. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from the experiences of your entire life, and you will use them to rise, not to weigh yourself down. From this moment on, you are no longer someone who tries to change. You are someone programmed to change. You are ready. Let the words of the ancient philosophers guide you. Let science reinforce the strength within you, and let these 60 minutes become the morning ritual that places you in the state of the strongest 1%. Step forward. Your journey begins now. Morning is the one moment of the day when your mind is blank. No one has touched it. It has not been pulled into social media. It has not been disturbed by work. This is the moment when your brain is most open to receiving a new direction, a new perspective, a new identity. And that is why the morning ritual of the Stoics always begins by turning inward, examining the mind, resetting the internal operating system before stepping into the world. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "If you do not take control of your mind the moment you wake up, it will control your entire day." This is not philosophy, it is observation. Your mind is not neutral. It is either led or it leads you. It does not wait for you to become ready. It programs you with whatever your attention touches first. If you touch worry, you will carry it the whole day. If you touch your goal, you will live by it the whole day. If you touch procrastination, you will repeat it until night. And you know this better than anyone. How many times have you told yourself, tomorrow I will start stronger? Yet the next morning you opened your phone, scrolled once, felt empty, and let the entire day drift without direction? That is not your fault. That is the mechanism of an unprogrammed mind. The brain always chooses the lowest energy path, and that path is your old habits, old tendencies, old thoughts that you have listened to for so long that you think they are your real self. But Stoicism reveals a different truth. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. Epictetus, if you are the observer, you can lead. If you can lead, you can redirect. And if you can redirect, you can rewrite your entire future. The affirmations you are about to hear are not designed to soothe you. They are designed to change the trajectory of your thinking in the first minutes of the day, where the mind is softest, most shapeable. Science calls this self-directed neuroplasticity, the ability to reshape your brain through your own deliberate choices. Every sentence you repeat, every time you adjust your breath, every moment you pull yourself out of distraction, you are rewriting the neurological pathways that determine your reactions, emotions, and behaviors. Not next week, not next month, but right now. Just as a warrior checks his weapons before stepping into battle, you are checking the mental foundation you will use to fight through the day. You cannot step into life with an old mind and expect new results. You cannot use chaos to create clarity. You cannot use comfort to create strength. You need a foundation, a framework, a set of principles strong enough to hold you every morning, no matter how chaotic the outside world may be. Seneca said, "No one drifts into success. You have to row." And this morning is your first stroke, your first choice, your first decision. From here, you are no longer carried by the current. You are steering it. You are not entering the day with vagueness. You are entering with clarity, sharpness, and a new identity. Someone who does not react to life, but directs life. In a few minutes, you will step into the 10 Stoic truths for the morning. Each truth is a brick that rebuilds the structure of your mind. Each micro-action is a lock that anchors your awareness into reality instead of letting it drift into habit. Each rhetorical question hits your consciousness, making you pause, think, and intentionally choose how to live. And each affirmation is a mark you imprint on yourself, a sentence you speak to reinforce the identity you are building. Take one more deep breath. Feel your presence, feel your strength returning. From this moment on, you are not entering the next section as a passive listener. You are entering as someone preparing to rewrite their life. And that identity will be shaped inside the 10 truths that follow. You are ready. Step into the list. Waking up with heaviness, reclaiming your mental authority. The morning. Sometimes you wake up feeling as if your heart is carrying the weight of the world. Nothing bad happened, yet inside you there is a fog of exhaustion, unresolved pressure, work piling up, expectations that make you feel like you are not enough. You open your eyes, but your mind is still stuck in yesterday, in the words that hurt you, in the mistakes you have not forgiven yourself for, in the decisions you are still afraid to make. And when the mind is stuck in the past, you cannot enter the new day as someone strong. You enter it as someone burdened. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Begin each day with the awareness that you have the power to choose how to live." It is a simple sentence, but it pulls you back like a force, reminding you that your morning mood is not destiny, but choice. The energy you feel is not fate, but something you can reclaim. You were not born with heaviness. You simply have not learned to take authority over it. The truth is, the mind in the morning is like a blank page, but old habits make you believe it is still yesterday's page. The essence of heaviness is not that you are weak. It is that you wake up and are immediately dragged into old thoughts. An unread email, a task you delayed, a worry you have not faced. Your mind cannot breathe because you force it to carry everything at once. But the Stoics do not allow today to be dictated by yesterday. They choose again, they reset, they begin. Look at modern life. When the alarm rings, the first thing many people reach for is their phone. They see messages from the night before, a storm of social media, chaotic information, drama that has nothing to do with them. Within the first 30 seconds, their mind is filled with noise, no space for silence, no space for awareness, no space to choose their state, and that is why mornings become heavy. Have you felt that before? Waking up for less than 5 minutes and already losing energy. Before eating breakfast, you are already pulled into emotions that do not belong to you, and then you blame yourself for feeling tired, unmotivated, weak, when in truth you simply have not created space to take authority over yourself. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb you, but the thoughts you hold about them." This means the heaviness you feel does not come from reality, but from the meaning you give reality. See a problem as a burden, it becomes a burden. See it as an opportunity to grow, it becomes a stepping stone. And morning is the moment where you redefine everything. So what is your first micro action? A simple but powerful action. Take a deep breath, place your hand on your chest, and whisper, "I am here. I am beginning again." This breath does not solve everything, but it opens a space where you're not swallowed by old thoughts. This breath is the divider. Yesterday has ended. Today belongs to me. Observe yourself in that moment. With just one deep breath, your body opens. Your shoulders release, your chest softens, your mind quiets. It is like grabbing the steering wheel after the car has drifted off course. This is one of the Stoics' greatest tools, returning to the breath to return to mental authority. The weak let their moods lead them. The strong use their breath to reclaim control. Imagine a warrior before battle. He does not charge into the battlefield with a chaotic mind. He stands firm, breathes deeply, centers himself. You are the same. Every morning is a battlefield. If your mind is heavy, your actions will be sloppy. But if your mind is stable, every decision becomes sharp. No one can clear the weight inside your head except you. But you do not need to clear everything. You only need to begin, and you begin with awareness. Ask yourself, why must I carry yesterday's pain into today? This question is not to make you feel guilty. It is to open the door to awareness. You do not need to continue this feeling. You do not need to relive old experiences. You have the right to choose again. You can be lighter, you can be stronger, you can be clearer. You only need to decide that you deserve a better morning. Morning transformation does not come from forcing positivity. It comes from choosing awareness before choosing reaction. And when you gain awareness, you begin to see the path in front of you. Every breath, every sentence you speak to yourself, every thought you choose to believe or not believe, all of it signals to your brain, I am in control. This morning, you will no longer let your mind lead you. You will lead it. You will reset the weight you are carrying. You will create space for new energy to enter. And it all begins with one simple choice. Do not bring the past into the present. Just as the Stoics wrote morning journals to reconnect with their principles, you are reprogramming your mind to begin with intention. A heavy morning is not an enemy. It is simply a reminder that you are about to step into a stronger version of yourself. If you are ready to step into the new day with a lighter mind, sharper focus, and full authority, drop this. I choose my state. You do not control your morning emotions. Reclaim your power. There are mornings when you wake up and one tiny detail is enough to destroy your energy. One message you have not replied to, one annoying comment on social media, one email from last night, one memory that tightens your chest. And in just a few seconds, your entire new day is shaped by an emotion that you never actually wanted. You did not choose it, you did not invite it, but it arrives and it takes control. This is something many people never really see clearly. Morning is the moment when emotions invade the fastest. Your brain has not built its defenses yet. Your rational mind is not fully online. Your system has not warmed up enough to analyze what is right and what is wrong. That is why any small trigger, whether it is a message, a memory, or a worry, can create a domino effect for your entire day. Epictetus once said, "You do not control everything that happens, but you always control your response." This is not advice. This is the key to freedom. The weak are controlled by their emotions. The strong use emotions as signals to adjust their behavior. The average person reacts impulsively. The warrior responds deliberately. Look at modern life. When you open your eyes, the first thing you face is not the sun, not yourself, but a screen. You scroll through TikTok and see someone else's perfect-looking life. You open Facebook and see negative news. You open your messages and see something that irritates you. And in the first 30 seconds, you have handed over the soul of your morning to emotions that do not even belong to you. How many times have you felt controlled by small things? One careless sentence can make you irritated all day. One minor incident can completely break your focus. One old memory can drag your mind to the bottom. But the truth is this: you are not a victim of emotion. You have simply not learned how to create the pause, the space between stimulus and response. The Stoics did not try to eliminate emotion. They stretched that pause. They used it as a shield to protect themselves from impulsiveness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have the power to not have a reaction when that reaction is no longer useful." This means emotions are guests, not the owner of the house. They arrive, and you allow them to leave. You do not build a nest for them. You do not hand your new day over to them. In real life, things will always be unexpected. New problems show up at work. Someone speaks carelessly. An old issue returns. A familiar worry flares up without warning. You cannot remove these things, but you can remove their power to ruin your day. And that begins with one small but extremely powerful technique: your morning micro-action. Count 5 seconds before you react to anything. Why 5 seconds? Because 5 seconds is short enough that you will not procrastinate, but long enough to shift control from emotion to reason. When you pause, your breath becomes the one standing in the middle. The breath separates you from the emotion. The breath brings you back to the position of the observer. Picture a familiar scenario. You wake up and see a message that shakes you. Normally, you would immediately tense up, get annoyed, overthink, and then you would slide down that emotional track for the rest of the day. But if you pause for 5 seconds, breathe deeply, and look at the situation as if you were standing at a distance, you will see that this message is not big enough to control your entire day. It only takes up that much space in your mind because you allow it to grow. Strength is not the absence of emotion. Strength is the ability to regulate your response faster than others. Strong people know that reaction is not pure instinct. It is a choice, and that choice is the foundation of inner freedom. Ask yourself, do I want to own my new day, or do I want my emotions to own me? This is not a simple question. This is an identity question. People who are controlled by emotion chase after temporary feelings. People who master emotion move toward long-term goals. The weak simply react. The strong choose. Once you expand that pause, you instantly become a more powerful version of yourself. You are no longer explosive. You are no longer easily wounded. You no longer allow others to decide your mood. You become the one who holds the emotional switch, turning it up when it serves you, turning it down when it does not. From there, your morning is no longer shaken by things that are not worth it. You step into the day with a steady mind, clear emotions, and the state of the one who drives, not the one who is driven. If you are ready to reclaim your power over your morning emotions, let this sentence anchor itself in your mind. Drop this: I control my reaction. The morning sense of meaninglessness. Rediscover purpose to switch on your mind. There are mornings when you wake up and everything feels empty. You're not tired, you're not anxious, you are just blank. You sit up, but there's no clear reason to start. You know you need to work, you need to push, you need to move forward, but your heart does not feel anything. It is as if you're living on autopilot, living with no direction, doing things without feeling a purpose. You wake up and your life feels like a map with no destination, and that drains you more than any difficulty ever could. Meaninglessness is not your enemy. It is a signal that you have lost connection with yourself. When you do not know what you want, you will be pulled by what others want. When you do not know where you are going, you will be dragged onto paths that are not yours. And when you do not set a clear aim, your mornings turn into an endless loop. Wake up, work, feel exhausted, sleep, repeat. Seneca once said, "If you do not know which port you are sailing to, no wind is favorable." If you wake up with no direction, everything in the day turns into noise. A small task can make you feel fed up. A minor obstacle can make you quit, because inside, there is no flame to lead you. Here is a hard truth. You are not lazy. You are not lacking motivation. You are simply missing a clear direction. In modern life, you are bombarded by 1,000 expectations. Be better, earn more, succeed faster, be more disciplined, be more perfect. But the truth is that you cannot start your day with a dozen vague goals. What you really need is one clear direction, one task that matters enough to pull you out of the emptiness. Look back at the mornings when you did feel motivated. Those were the days when you knew exactly what you were going to do, when you had a clear task, when you saw the path in front of you, when you knew why you needed to get out of bed. On the other hand, those empty mornings always show up when you are vague with yourself. You are drowning in too many thoughts, too many unclear things, too many pressures at the same time. And when pressure has no order, it becomes chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let your mind be distracted. Focus on the task that lies right in front of you." That is the antidote to the sense of meaninglessness. The answer is not to search for some grand life purpose. The answer is to choose one small task that genuinely matters. Your morning does not need you to plan your entire life. Your morning needs you to choose one right action. One action strong enough to pull you out of the fog. One action important enough to become the foundation of your whole day. One action simple enough that you can start it immediately. That is why the micro action for this part is incredibly simple, but very powerful. Write down the single most important thing that you want to complete today. Just one thing, not 5, not 10, only one. When you choose one task, your mind has direction. When you have direction, you have energy. When you have energy, you have a sense of purpose. And when you have purpose, your morning becomes meaningful again. Imagine this. You open your eyes and feel empty, but instead of giving up, you sit up, take a small piece of paper, and write, "The most important thing today is roll." Immediately, your brain switches into focus mode. You are no longer a drifting boat. You become the person holding the wheel. Average people search for meaning through emotion. Warriors search for meaning through action. Average people wait for inspiration to come. Warriors create inspiration by starting. Average people let uncertainty paralyze them. Warriors use uncertainty as space to choose a new way to live. Ask yourself, if I could do only one thing today that would make this day truly valuable, what would it be? Do not overthink it. This question does not need a perfect answer. It needs an honest one. It needs your real priority. It needs the thing you know you must do, but have avoided for too long. Morning is the time to decide what really matters, not the noise, not the drama, not comparison, not the expectations of other people, but the one thing that makes you feel your life is actually moving forward, even just a little. If you want to reclaim meaning in your mornings, if you want to step out of the fog, if you want to live with intention instead of drifting, then anchor this idea in your mind. Drop this: I choose one powerful action. Pulled back by procrastination, break the loop of comfort. There are mornings when you are not truly tired, not sad, not stressed, and yet you still cannot start. You know exactly what you need to do. You know what's important. You know that the longer you delay it, the more pressure it will create. But somehow, you still sit there, adding a few more minutes, a few more scrolls on your phone, a few more excuses to defend yourself. You do not procrastinate because you are weak. You procrastinate because your mind is deeply addicted to comfort. The brain prefers what is easy, not what is right. This feeling is so familiar that it has become part of your morning. You wake up, grab your phone, scroll through a few videos, check a few notifications, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. You feel guilty, but you repeat the same pattern. You want to change, but you do not know where to begin. What you fear is not the work itself. What you fear is starting the work. Marcus Aurelius used to remind himself every morning, do not waste time talking about what a good person should be. Be one. He did not wait for inspiration. He did not wait for the perfect burst of energy. He did not wait for his mood to be ideal. He acted first and let his emotions adjust afterward. That is what many people today have forgotten. You do not need to feel ready in order to do the right thing. You only need to begin. Procrastination does not come from laziness. It comes from the way your mind keeps exaggerating what needs to be done. It convinces you that you do not have enough energy yet, that you are not clear-headed enough yet, that it is not the right time, that you will start later. But the truth is this: there is no such thing as the right time. Every right time is created by action. Look at real life. You tell yourself you will clean your room a little later. You tell yourself you will work out once you feel more awake. You tell yourself you will reply to that email when you are in the right mood. You tell yourself you will study more when you have some free time. But a little later never really arrives. Once you feel awake keeps getting pushed back. When you are in the mood is the smoothest lie you tell yourself. And when I have free time is the biggest trap for young people. Procrastination is the sweetest comfort and the fastest killer of potential. Epictetus said, "Do what's right, the rest is not up to you." He did not say, wait. He did not say, prepare until you feel perfect. He simply said, act. What keeps you stuck is not the work itself. It is the moment before the work. It is the second when you are fighting inside, knowing what you should do while your mind pulls you away from it. It is an invisible wall that makes you feel held back. But that wall is not real. It is just a habit of refusing to step outside the comfort zone, a habit of choosing instant ease over long-term results. That is why the micro action for this part matters so much. The 2-minute rule. Whatever you are procrastinating on, do it for 2 minutes. You do not have to finish it, you only have to start. Why 2 minutes? Because you cannot fight the entire journey at once, but you can always take one step. And once you move, procrastination loses its grip. Your body enters action mode. Your brain shifts from avoidance to execution. You break the illusion that the task is too hard. You prove to yourself that you can begin at any moment. Imagine this. You have an important task that you have delayed for an entire week, but this morning you stand up, open your laptop, and work on it for exactly 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, but that moment creates the spark. Suddenly you see that it is not as difficult as you had imagined. You feel momentum, and once you have momentum, you do not want to stop. Average people live by feeling. If they feel like it, they work. If they do not feel like it, they stop. Warriors live by principle. Whether they feel like it or not, what needs to be done still gets done. Average people wait for the perfect state. Warriors create the right state through the first small action. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have I lost just because I never started? This question is not meant to make you blame yourself. It is meant to make you face the truth. You are not lacking ability. You are lacking action. You are not lacking time. You are lacking the decision to begin. You are not lacking discipline. You are lacking the first click, the first move, the first step. The beautiful thing is, you can change that this very morning. You do not need a complex plan. You do not need an explosive surge of motivation. You do not need some dramatic declaration. You only need 2 minutes, and procrastination no longer owns you. From this moment on, you will not let comfort hold you back. You will not let procrastination steal your day. You will not let old habits run your life. You will act even when you do not feel ready. You will begin even when you are not perfect. You will move forward even if all you have is 2 minutes. If you are ready to break the procrastination that has held you for far too long, then lock this sentence into your mind. Drop this: I act immediately. Negative self-talk, reprogramming your inner language. There is a conversation that no one else can see, but it decides everything in your life. The conversation between you and yourself. You can appear strong in front of others, confident in public, resilient in the face of challenges. But if inside you there's a voice that constantly judges, criticizes, belittles, and doubts you, then every morning you will start the day like someone whose hands are tied. Many times you do not even notice it. You just unconsciously say things to yourself like, I do not know if I can do this today. I will probably mess it up again. I am not good enough. I am not as good as other people. I am so tired. I do not want to do anything. These sentences sound harmless, but they are lines of code that are programming you every single day. Your brain does not know whether you are joking or being serious. It only hears and it obeys. You say, I am not good enough, and it programs you as someone who is not good enough. You say, I am gonna fail, and it prepares you for failure. You say, I am tired, and it makes your body feel exhausted even if you have slept 8 full hours. Epictetus once wrote, the danger is not in what happens, but in the story you tell yourself about it. This applies directly to your mornings. You're not only facing reality, you're facing the way you interpret reality. Your mind can turn a small challenge into a mountain, but it can also turn a big task into an opportunity. It all begins with the language you use when you speak to yourself. In modern life, we are surrounded by comparison and expectation. You open your phone and you see someone more successful, richer, more attractive, more disciplined. Social media makes you feel less than, when in reality, you are simply living a different life. But your mind does not know that. It only hears your voice. Why am I not like them? Maybe I cannot do it. Maybe this is as far as I can go. Those small sentences are cuts that eat away at your confidence every single day without you even realizing it. Marcus Aurelius used to remind himself, the mind speaks to itself about itself. Tell it the right things. He understood that there is no enemy stronger than the one inside, and there is no ally more powerful than you when you choose the right words. You know this more deeply than anyone. There are days when you cannot change your circumstance, but the moment you change the way you speak to yourself, the entire day feels different. The truth is this: you cannot live powerfully with weak language. You cannot live with discipline using the language of self-blame. You cannot live with confidence using the language of doubt. You cannot live a deep life using the language of constant criticism. That is why the morning is the time to reset your inner language system. You do not need to repeat fake positive phrases like I am perfect, or I am amazing, or I am already successful. The Stoics did not use words to paint everything in pretty colors. They used words to direct the mind. They spoke with honesty, but they aimed that honesty toward strength, not toward fear. That is why the micro action for this part is simple but extremely powerful. Write down 3 negative sentences that you often say to yourself, and then reverse them in a way that is honest and strong. For example, I am not good becomes I am becoming better every single day. I have failed too many times becomes I am learning faster than most people. I have no motivation becomes I am creating my motivation with my first action. You do not need to change the entire structure of your life. You only need to change the voice that leads you in your own head. Imagine that every morning you step into a new version of yourself, but that new version is being pulled back by the old voice. The old voice says you are not enough. It says you cannot do it. It says you do not deserve it. But there is one truth that voice does not understand. You are the only person who has the authority to decide which sentences are allowed to live inside your mind. You can build the walls again. You can choose a new story. You can rewrite your inner language. You can train your mind the way you would train a warrior, with words that are sharp, clear, strong, and always pointing you toward the right action. Ask yourself, if I were my own best friend, what would I say to myself in the morning? You would not say things that make you shrink. You would say things that help you stand taller. You would say words that allow you to start the day as someone who has value. So why not speak that way to yourself? You do not need to become a perfect person to speak strong words. You only need to become an honest and courageous person. Someone who dares to look at their weaknesses but refuses to let those weaknesses define them. Someone who chooses language that lifts them up instead of dragging them down. If this morning you want to rewrite the voice inside you, start with this sentence. Drop this: I speak to myself with strength. You are too easily affected by others. Reclaim the territory of your mind. Morning is the time when your mind is at its weakest against the influence of the world. One sentence, one notification, one complaint, one comparison is enough to change your entire emotional direction. You can wake up with good energy, a clear spirit, and strong determination. But just 1 or 2 outside triggers, and you are pulled off course. It is as if your mind does not belong to you, but belongs to whatever people say, do, or think. And you know how often this happens. Someone sends you a negative message, and your motivation disappears. Someone speaks to you without sensitivity, and you think about it all morning. Someone flashes their success and you start comparing. Someone complains about life and your mood drops instantly. You are not choosing your emotions. You are mirroring the emotions of others like a mirror with no filter. Whatever's placed in front of you, you reflect back. Marcus Aurelius warned about this thousands of years ago. He wrote, "If you do not build walls around your mind, anyone can walk in." And morning is exactly when those walls are at their thinnest. Look at modern life. You wake up and open your phone. You see drama and your mind is disturbed. You see someone successful and you feel behind. You see a heavy message and your state crashes. You see people complaining and their emotions spill over into you. You have not had water yet. You have not thought for yourself yet. You have not taken one deep breath. And your mind has already been occupied by the emotions, energy, expectations, and opinions of other people. The harsh truth is this: you are not lacking peace, you are lacking boundaries. Stoicism does not teach you to run away from the world. It teaches you to stay rooted in yourself even when the world is loud. Epictetus said, "No one can truly hurt you unless you give them the power to do so." That means other people's emotions only affect you when you open the door and invite them in. You can refuse. You can stand firm. You can observe without absorbing. Think about the times when your mood dropped. Did most of those moments come from things you could not control? What other people did, what other people said, what other people thought, what other people judged. Morning is the time when you must reclaim the territory of your mind, like a guard standing at the gate of a fortress. Not everyone is allowed to walk in. Not every emotion is allowed to rule you. Not every piece of information deserves your energy. In the age of social media, protecting your mind is no longer a luxury. It is a survival skill. That is why the micro action for this part is so important and so effective. Turn off all notifications for the first 60 minutes of your day. Do not open social media. Do not read the news. Do not respond to messages. Just 60 minutes. But you will feel a real difference. You reclaim space for yourself. You listen to yourself before you listen to the world. You build the wall before anyone else steps in. Imagine your morning starting like this. You open your eyes. There is no notification sound, no messages, no drama. There is only your breath, your silence, your goals, your inner strength. You step into the new day as an owner, not as someone who is constantly reacting. Average people are easily swayed like leaves in the wind. A stoic warrior stands firm like roots deep in the ground. The wind can be strong, the world can be noisy, but you do not sway. Ask yourself, does this mind belong to me or does it belong to other people? If that question makes you hesitate, it is a sign that you have allowed too many outside forces to enter. You deserve a morning that belongs to you, a space that is not occupied, a mind that is not controlled, a state that is not dragged down. You were not born to be a mirror that only reflects the emotions of others. You were born to be the one holding the torch, leading yourself through the new day. And if this morning you want to reclaim the territory of your mind, let this sentence become your declaration. Drop this: I protect my mind. You feel like you are not improving, rebuild your 1% growth every day. There are mornings when you wake up and the first feeling is disappointment, not because of anyone else, but because of yourself. You feel like you're not getting anywhere. You feel like your life is a loop. Work, get tired, try harder, and then somehow end up back in the same place. You look back at the last 6 months, the last year, and you ask yourself, have I really changed at all? How much have I actually improved? Or am I still the same? That feeling's very real. It is heavy. It sits there quietly in the background. It makes you doubt yourself even when you are trying every single day. But there is a truth that very few people dare to face. You are not failing. You are simply not seeing your own progress. The human brain is designed to forget the small steps and only remember the big jumps. That is why you think you are stuck in place, when in reality, you are already much further ahead than the version of you from last year. Think about the things you once thought were difficult. A habit that used to drain you is now easier. A problem that once terrified you is now just a small obstacle. A pain that once broke you now barely slows you down. But you do not notice it because progress does not make noise. It happens quietly, silently, little by little, right when you're not paying attention. Seneca once wrote, "No one grows up in a single night." Growth is the result of small actions repeated over and over, and this is the key point. You may not see yourself changing in a single day, but you are always changing across a series of days. The problem is this: you are measuring your progress with someone else's standards, with society's expectations, with the polished images you see online. And when you compare your real self to someone else's edited version, you will always feel like you are behind, even while you are still moving forward. Look at modern life. Social media shows breakthrough moments. No one posts the slow process, the boring days, the doubt, the confusion, the times when nothing seems to move. You are comparing your real journey with someone else's highlight reel. That is a battle you can never win. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every day, do not let impatience ruin your natural progress. He understood that every form of growth takes time, and every trajectory begins with very small steps. So instead of trying to change your whole life in one night, do what every Stoic warrior does. Focus on 1% growth each day, 1% without pressure, 1% without burning yourself out. 1% that is small today, but after 100 days, you are a completely different person. That is why the micro action in this part is extremely practical. Choose one 5-minute habit and do it for 7 days in a row. Just 5 minutes. But you do not skip a single day. That habit can be 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of breathing practice, 5 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of learning a skill, 5 minutes of journaling, or 5 minutes of cleaning one small area. Because the secret of progress is not in how hard the action is, it is in how consistent you are. Average people try to jump 100 steps at once and then quit. Stoic warriors take 1 step every day and never stop. Average people wait for motivation. Warriors build momentum through small actions. Average people want fast results. Warriors want a process that lasts. Imagine if you accumulate 1% every day. After 30 days, you are clearly different. After 90 days, you become the strongest version of yourself that you have ever imagined. After 365 days, you become someone your past self from 12 months ago would not even believe you could be. You are not lacking speed. You are lacking momentum. A small snowball that keeps rolling long enough becomes a massive wave. A small habit done long enough becomes a powerful strength. Ask yourself, if I took 1% growth seriously every single day, how different would my life look after 1 year? Picture your future self looking back at you right now and saying, thank you for starting. Thank you for not quitting. Thank you for taking it 1 step at a time. You do not need to become excellent immediately. You just need to be consistent. You do not need to be outstanding today. You only need to be slightly better than you were yesterday. That is discipline. That is the Stoic spirit. That is the foundation of every elite warrior. If this morning you want to regain your sense of progress, even if it is small but steady, let this sentence lead you. Drop this: I grow every day. Lack of morning discipline. Rebuild the foundation to win the day. There are mornings when you wake up and you know exactly what you should do. Get up on time, exercise, read a few pages, start your most important task. But then you stay in bed for a few more minutes, then a few more. You know you should stand up, but your body feels like it is being held down. You know you need to be strong, but comfort pulls you back like gravity. And just like that, your day does not begin with discipline. It begins with compromise. A small compromise, but a very dangerous one. Because the way you start your day will shape the way you live the rest of your day. The uncomfortable truth is this: you do not need to do something huge to lose your discipline. You just need to hit the snooze button 1 time. From that moment, you have already sent a signal to your brain: I choose what is easy before what is hard. I choose comfort first, action later. I choose delay now, discipline later. And once you declare that in the morning, your brain applies that pattern to the entire day. So you want to work out and you feel lazy. You want to work and you feel distracted. You want to focus and you feel bored. It is not because you are weak. It is because your day began with surrender. The Stoics understood this very clearly. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, when you do not want to get up, remember this: I was born to act. He did not write that for other people. He wrote it for himself. Every morning, because he also felt the pull of comfort, but he knew that just half a second of the wrong choice could tilt the direction of his entire day. Look at modern life. You plan to wake up at 6 in the morning and it becomes 6:10, 6:20, 6:30. You plan to exercise for 10 minutes and instead you scroll your phone for 20. You plan to start work immediately and you end up on YouTube or TikTok. You plan to focus and you end up opening your messages. Your body's not betraying you. Your brain does not hate you. They are simply doing what you have trained them to do repeatedly. Choose what is easy instead of what is right. Discipline is not a talent. Discipline is a mental lever that you have to reset every morning. A ritual that reminds you, this day belongs to me, not to my comfort. Epictetus said, no one becomes strong through what is easy. Every time you choose what is easy, you take strength away from yourself. Every time you choose what is hard, you send a signal to your mind, I am the leader of myself. A warrior does not win through luck. A warrior wins through rituals. Rituals create discipline. Discipline creates rhythm. Rhythm creates momentum. And momentum creates a life. That is why the micro action in this part is extremely effective. Place your alarm clock somewhere that forces you to stand up in order to turn it off. Do not put it next to your bed. Do not put it within arm's reach. Put it far enough away that you must leave your comfort to touch it. Yeah, that small act of standing up is your first victory of the day. And the first victory pulls in the next victories. Imagine a morning like this. The alarm rings. You step out of bed to turn it off. You stand there for just 3 seconds with your back straight, your breath stronger, your eyes more awake. You have already defeated comfort. You have already declared to your mind, today I am in charge. And once you win that first fight, the rest of the day starts to follow that winning momentum. Your most important task becomes easier to start. Your focus becomes easier to keep. You are no longer dragged by procrastination, by the call of your bed, or by the urge to give up. Ask yourself, if I cannot even win my morning, how can I win my life? This question is not meant to make you feel heavy. It is meant to show you a bigger truth. Discipline does not begin with big actions. It begins with the first minute after you open your eyes. And you do not need to become a perfectly disciplined person overnight. You just need to start the right way. One small push in the morning can change how you live the entire day. One right habit in the morning can change how you live your entire life. And if this morning you want to reclaim your discipline, your strength, and your sense of control, let this sentence be your declaration. Drop this: I choose discipline over comfort. You compare yourself every morning. Free yourself from invisible pressure. There is a dangerous mental trap that most people fall into every morning: the comparison trap. You wake up feeling normal, but the moment you look at your phone, you see people who are more successful, richer, fitter, smarter, or happier. And in just a few seconds, you feel smaller. Your mood drops, your energy sinks, and your new day begins with the feeling of losing, even though you have not done anything yet. No one is tearing you down. You are doing it to yourself. No one is judging you. You are doing it to yourself. No one is putting pressure on you. You are putting pressure on yourself. Here is the painful truth. You are not being beaten by other people. You are being beaten by the idealized version of them in your own mind. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, do not let your mind drift into the lives of others. He understood that when you fix your eyes on someone else's path, you step off your own. And when you step off your own path, you lose your power. In the age of social media, this is even more dangerous. You see people at their best moments, and you compare that to your worst moments. You see them at mile 100, and you compare that to your mile 10. You see them when they have momentum, and you compare that to your first shaky steps. You see them living their story, and you question why you have not reached the same point, but you are not using the same data. You do not know what they have gone through. You do not know how long it took them to get there. You do not know how many times they fell, how many times they failed, how many nights they doubted themselves behind the screen. Comparison makes you forget the most important truth. You are only responsible for beating one person, yourself, not anyone else. Epictetus said, If you do not follow the path that fits your nature, you are wasting your life. Your nature is not like anyone else's. Your journey is not like anyone else's. Your pace is not like anyone else's. So why would you measure yourself with someone else's ruler? Look at modern life. You see a friend buying a house and you feel slow. You see someone successful at 25 and you feel late, and you see people traveling in luxury and you tell yourself you are not good enough. You see someone with a great body and you decide you are less than, but you forget that social media only shows the light. It almost never shows the dark. It shows results, not the process. It shows victories, not the tears. It shows the destination, not the thousands of small steps. When you compare, you lose your ability to judge yourself fairly. You forget that you are growing every single day. You forget that you are stronger than the version of you from last year. You forget that you have already survived things other people know nothing about. The Stoics did not waste energy on what they could not control. They put everything into their own path. That is why they had a kind of peace that most people never achieve. To escape the comparison trap, the micro action in this part is very simple but very powerful. Write down 3 things you have done well in the last 7 days. Just 3 things, but they must be honest. It might be that you exercised 4 out of 7 days, you read a few pages of a book, you helped someone, you stayed calm in a difficult situation, you went to bed earlier, you reduced your time scrolling online. These things seem small, but they are proof that you are moving upward. When you clearly see your own progress, you no longer need to measure yourself against anyone else. You lay each small brick gently, but over time, you build a wall that others respect. You take small steps, but over time you go further than those who sprint and then quit. You focus on yourself, and that focus is what creates your strength. Ask yourself, whose life is this? If it is your life, then why are you living by someone else's standards? Why are you letting someone else's success decide your worth? Why are you letting someone else's life make you doubt your own? You're not losing to anyone. You simply need to return to your own path. And when you stand firmly on your own path, you will realize that you are moving at exactly the pace, in exactly the direction, and on exactly the timeline that you need. If this morning you want to step out of the comparison trap, let this sentence become your declaration. Drop this. I stay on my path. You do not believe in your own power. Awaken the warrior within. There are mornings when you look in the mirror and you do not see strength. You see exhaustion, you see disappointment, you see the times you quit, the mistakes you made, the goals you set but never followed through. You do not say this to anyone, but inside you are asking yourself, am I actually good enough? Am I really strong enough to change? Can I truly become the version of myself that I want to be? This is the quietest battle, the deepest battle, the most persistent battle, the battle over your belief in yourself. And the dangerous part is this. You are not only doubting your abilities, you are doubting your identity. Epictetus once said, "It is not circumstances that make the man, but how the man sees himself." You can stand in front of a great opportunity, but if inside you there's a voice saying, "I am not enough," you will walk away. You can have very strong abilities, but if your inner story is, "I am weak," you will shrink yourself down. You can have a bright future, but if your inner belief is, "I do not deserve it," you will never step toward it. That is why every morning you feel small, not because you are actually small, but because your mind is carrying old stories that no longer fit who you are. Things people once said to you, failures you went through, comparisons that made you feel less, moments when you were rejected, doubted, or judged. But none of those things are who you are today. That was you from years ago, you from old chapters, you from a time when you did not yet know how strong you really are. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will always bubble up if you will only dig. This is not just a poetic sentence, it is a biological and spiritual fact. You are always stronger than you think, but you only feel that strength when you allow yourself to see it. Look at modern life. So many people are more capable than they believe, but they do not act because they are afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of being imperfect, afraid of not being enough. The paradox is this. It is that fear, not your ability, that blocks your path. You are not stuck because you lack skill. You are stuck because you lack the belief to use the skill you already have. You do not need 10 more new talents. You need to drop 10 old stories that are making you bow your head. You have already overcome things that other people know nothing about. You have already survived pains that others would not understand. You have already stood back up at times when you thought you would fall for good, so why do you believe that you are not strong? The truth is this: you are living proof of resilience. You have just forgotten. Morning is the perfect moment to remind yourself of that, not with fancy words, but with facts. You have been through too much to still doubt yourself. That is why the micro action in this section is very important, very powerful, and extremely direct. Look into the mirror for 10 seconds and say, I am becoming the strongest version of myself. Why 10 seconds? Because 10 seconds is long enough to face yourself. No avoiding, no looking down, no turning away. You face the real you, not the person you are afraid of being. And in those 10 seconds, you see the strength you forgot. The strength you used to survive hard years, the strength that never left you. It was only sleeping. Ask yourself, if not me, then who? Who is going to stand up for you? Who is going to fight for you? Who is going to rewrite your life for you? No one. This is a journey only you can walk, and you are stronger than anyone who ever judged you, stronger than any words that ever hurt you, stronger than any failure that ever pulled you down. You are not the person you were last year. You are not the person you were 3 years ago. You are not the old version buried in fear. You are the version that is growing, getting stronger, becoming sharper every single day. And if this morning you want to wake that strength up, then declare this clearly, powerfully, and decisively. Drop this: I trust my power. The identity shift. You are no longer who you used to be. If you have listened until this point, it means you no longer belong to the other 99%. Average people stopped at the 3rd minute. The weak gave up at the first principle. The impatient skipped through the hard parts, but you did not. You have walked through morning pain, through procrastination, through self-doubt, through lack of discipline, through comparison, through old stories that weighed down your mind. You have faced yourself, something most people avoid doing for their entire life. And that alone has placed you into the top 1%, the group of people who choose to work on the inside before they try to change the outside. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, become the kind of person you would like to meet. And today you have done exactly that. Not through empty words, not through wishful thinking, but through interaction, one section at a time, one breath at a time, one decision at a time. The people who stop in the middle only think about change. The people who arrive here become that change. Look back at the path you have just walked. You chose awareness instead of heaviness. You chose intention instead of reaction. You chose discipline instead of comfort. You chose 1% growth instead of standing still. You chose powerful language instead of self-attack. You chose your own path instead of other people's opinions. You chose to trust your inner strength instead of listening to old fear. Those are not the choices of average people. Those are the choices of a Stoic warrior. Feel this clearly. You are not just changing habits. You are changing identity. You are no longer the person who wakes up and lets life drag them around. You are no longer the person who lets emotions take the wheel. You are no longer the person tied up by the past. You are no longer the person who lets fear whisper into your ear and control your future. You are becoming someone with standards, someone with principles, someone with mental sovereignty, someone who enters the morning as a ritual, not as a reflex. If you can come this far, you can go anywhere you decide to go. If you can master your morning, you can master your year. If you can lead your mind, you can shape your fate. Your breath is deeper, your eyes are steadier. Your heart does not tremble the way it used to. And inside you, a new sentence is forming, a new identity is rising. I am the one who owns my life. I do not run away. I do not avoid. I do not surrender. I am the 1%. This is no longer just a video. This is the moment you step through the doorway out of your old self. Welcome to the strongest version of you. If you have reached the end of this journey, it means you did not just listen. You chose to change. And to keep this fire alive, you need to leave a mark for yourself. Comment your final affirmation to lock this new identity into your mind. I rise with discipline. If this video has made you clearer, stronger, more awake, press like so that YouTube knows you want more morning rituals like this. Share it with someone who needs strength. And if you want to walk this path of becoming the elite 1%, press subscribe so you do not miss any future mental training sessions. Thank you for giving this time to yourself. I will see you in the next morning, where your strength will continue to be sharpened. Stand tall, breathe deep, and step into your day like a true Stoic warrior.